What's up, everyone? Welcome to the New Norm program, where I'm going to take you through my proven 4-step process to properly transition to minimalist shoes. Stage 1 is activate. Stage 2 is release. Stage 3 is strengthen, and stage 4 is adapt. My name is Heidi van Mastrigt, better known as that Barefoot coach. I'm a fitness and performance coach specializing in foot function and integration. I help people reclaim their resilience by reclaiming their natural strong feet through daily habits and training. What most people don't realize about conventional shoes is the toe box tapers to a point, and this actually makes no sense if we look at the anatomy of a human foot. Additionally, conventional shoes tend to be pretty stiff in the sole. They also tend to have a bit of a heel-toe drop, which means that the heel is a bit higher than the toe, which causes you to stand on the tip of your toes. And some of them have quite a bit of cushion that really disconnects us from the ground. When worn over extended periods of time, these features contribute to a lot of different issues, including big toe stiffness, weakened foot muscles, tight ankles, and even altered gait patterns. Did you know that 25% of your bones are actually in your feet? It sounds crazy, but one foot has 26 bones, 33 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments. And given all that hardware, I'm going to walk you through how to actually assess the health of your feet. The first thing we're going to look at is calluses. Now, you may not realize that you have calluses in places you had no idea. So to start, we want to take a look at the bottom of the foot. Now, it's normal to have calluses along the heel, along the outside, and along the big toe. Now, calluses you want to look out for that are not normal are in the center of the ball of the foot. If you have calluses there, that's a sign that your gait pattern has been altered, and we need to do something about that. The next thing we're gonna look at is big toe mobility. Your big toe is one of the most important body parts, not only for your foot, but for your entire body. So we're gonna do passive, and then we're gonna do active. Passive means we're going to lift the big toe up, and we wanna see how much we can lift. If you're about here, that means your big toe mobility is limited, and we're gonna need to address that. We want to see about 60 degrees, at least, of big toe extension. Next, we're going to check active big toe mobility, and that means that we are going to lift the big toe independent of all the others. Feel free to do this one foot at a time, but we're going to place the foot down and lift the big toe, and down and lift, and down and lift. Next, we're going to test your toe dexterity or your toe splay. Toe dexterity means that you have control of the toes. We can splay the toes, and as you look down, you have space in between each one. We can lay each toe flat on the ground. We can spread them. We can crunch them. Dexterity simply means you have control. The next one we're going to do is called short foot. Now, this is an assessment, but it's also an exercise as well. Now, short foot is simply taking your foot through pronation and supination on command. And these two movements are so important when it comes to walking, running, and just moving in general. Pronation is when we drop the arch to the ground. All the joints are opening up, and the foot is ready to absorb force or impact. Now, from pronation, we're going to go into supination. Supination is when the ankle joints lock up, creating a rigid lever so that we can access the muscles while we are walking, running, and pushing off that foot. Now, I'm going to take you through a few reps of short foot so you can get an idea what it should look like. So to start, we're going to drop the arch. We're going to pronate. The knee may bend. That's totally fine. We're going to supinate, pull up. Pronate, push down. Supinate, push up. Pronate, push down, and supinate, pull up. One key thing to look for is the big toe joint. We don't want that big toe joint to lift off the ground when we supinate. That's not supinating. So keep your 3 points of contact, the tripod, the heel, the head of the 5th metatarsal, and the head of the 1st metatarsal, anchored to the ground as you take your foot through the short foot exercise. The last assessment exercise we're going to do is testing ankle dorsiflexion, or how far forward we can send the knee and how much flexibility the ankle has. So how you're going to do this, we're going to send the toe directly on a wall. And now we're going to touch the knee to the wall. If you can do that, we're going to scoot the foot back about 1 to 3 inches, and we're going to do it again. And we're going to go as far back as we can until the heel lifts off the ground. And that is your end range for ankle dorsiflexion. Now, when you're doing this knee to wall exercise, the key thing you want to look for is the angle of your foot. We need the foot straight forward. So that means if you go to do this and your foot is angled out or it's angled in even, that's no good. We need to make sure we have a parallel, straightforward foot. Next up, we're going to talk about the foot-brain neural pathways. You probably didn't know this, but the soles of your feet have more nerve endings per square centimeter than anywhere else in the body. And this makes it super important when it comes to sensory feedback. And that's why we have the rock mat. What makes the rock mat so special is it has these different rock shapes. There's not really a rhyme or reason to it. They're just rows of different height and shaped rocks. This can be a really important tool to use when your feet have been locked up in really high cushioned shoes. When you're wearing really high cushioned shoes, the soles of your feet, all those nerve endings, they're not getting the sensory feedback from the ground. So as you're starting this practice, you may want to start very slow. For some people, stepping on this will be too much because your feet are not used to such rich sensory feedback. So you may want to sit while you do it, but just understand that the goal is to be able to step on this, to squat on this, even to jump on it without any pain. Now that we have gone through a full foot assessment, let's talk about activation. One of my all-time favorite tools for this is the rock mat. Another great way to activate the foot-brain neural pathways is to walk barefoot, indoors and outdoors if you're comfortable. This is such a great way to expose the bare soles of your feet to a variety of textures and terrains. And this is the best way to turn on and activate those foot-brain neural pathways.